Hello, and welcome to a special edition of A Lot of Help. I'm James Lott Jr. You're probably seeing the title of this episode, and that's what we're going to talk about, online fandoms, because I'm noticing something this week especially that made me want to do a video. I'm a life coach, so I'm a life coach. I do that, among other things. I also do opinion television. I do a lot of after shows. There are shows that are after the show that airs, and I talk about what I liked, maybe not did like about an episode of a show or episodes of a show. The soaps is 5, but or the half hour, whatever it is. I tell an opinion. So there, to me, there is an art form to actually doing opinion television. Usually, you choose a persona for the most part of what your persona is going to be. Oh, that's the thing right there. And then that's what your persona is usually on the show. That's what your opinion is born out of. The lens you see a show through. It could be you're a veteran of watching the show for many years. You could be a newbie. You could be a person who's a super fanatical or someone who's kind of likes the show. That usually informs what's going on. But the whole point is to, as you're recapping what happened, you give your opinion about what you saw. Now, there's some recap after shows that I've seen out there that are very, very negative. Their style is we just talk about it all, we gossip, we just give it all out there, don't care. And then some of us are kind of different, where we want the show to be on the air. We wouldn't be doing the after show if we didn't like the show. The show, we wanted to be on the air. And we try to find ways to tell our opinion without outwardly like bashing the actor or the writers. We give suggestions, we say how we feel on some level, but we try to give it where it's if there's good parts, we really mention those good parts. If there's not so good parts, we find various ways to give our opinion. And that's something that's really interesting out there now, because we're in an age where giving your opinion gets questioned, right? I was never on television without pity back in the 90s, 2000s. I wasn't part of Reddit until about 6 years ago, and I'm barely on there. I was online. I was never part of many Facebook groups or anything until about 6 years ago, when I started posting my opinion shows in those groups and seeing what those groups are about. I was never paying attention to the various Twitter universes, soap Twitter, Hardy's Twitter, Hallmark Twitter, sports Twitter. There's all these different Twitters, right? And I've always heard about them, but I never really paid attention to them. I completely stayed kind of devoid and stay out of it. Like, they can all have it. I'm watching my shows, I post them, I go about my business. But over the last few years, I've tried to interact with fans and people, followers of my shows, and look at the comments. And sometimes the comments are really rude. But I try to find the ones that are actually constructive criticism about a show, or they have healthy debate with me about a subject. I may say something, I want to challenge you on that thought. And I love healthy debate. But now the term healthy is being kind of lost also. So what brought me to this week was that I'm part of more Facebook groups than I could even imagine. And I started to, usually I would post, but also want to be active. I want to try to kind of be active in the groups. And some of the posts in these groups are hilarious. Some folks do stuff they're just like, that's so funny and very clever. Others bring up some good points I may have missed about the show. Others talk their love of the show. Then I see the ones where basically it is just horrible talk. The end, just like that, Facebook group is going crazy this week. The Boba Fett Facebook group is going crazy this week. In the past, the Hardy's groups were having their problems. No, soap ones, of course, and soap Twitter is very famous for that. I've been in a few embroils. I try not to be into that into it all. But here's the deal. So I feel, I'm saying I, as anybody out there in the world, feel I can say whatever I want. Now, I always say on your own page, if it's your page, then yes, I feel like I say it's not a democracy, it's dictatorship. Whatever I say on my page, I say, and it sticks. That's what's going on. But these groups, most of them have rules, and they require you to read them and see and agree to them. I know in some cases the rules are murky in terms of bashing a show. Some say you can't bash a show. So my thing is, if you have read the agreements and agree to it, you can't get upset if someone says you're violating the rules. Again, it's a choice. I mean, there's a million Boba Fett groups, a million Sex and City groups, a million Dallas groups, whatever. You don't have to be in that one. There's other ones you can go to if you want to just hate the show. Yes, there's some trolling. If you know what trolling means, look that up. There's some trolling that happens. There's just folks who just love doing it for giggles. But there's this whole thing now of like, I can say whatever I want. I was watching actual conversations. I don't join any of them. But I was watching the conversations, and they're like, I have the right to say whatever I want. I have a right to be as negative as I want to. It's free speech. It's America. I can do what I want, which actually is such a indicative of a bigger picture right now in America. People think they just do whatever they want. That's just that they live in America and do whatever they want. That's kind of thing. And then you can't tell me what to do. And that's not a law. And that's not. And we forget that when it comes to private businesses, just like private pages, you don't have that freedom. Especially if you agree. It's like just strike to the facts. Especially if you agree to the rules. And so I'm literally seeing people and the admins are trying to talk to. And I see as groups get bigger, more problems happen. The Hardys were super divided several times over the years. I've written a book about it on Amazon. But recently, there was a big thing where the lead character chose one man over another. There was a whole divide. There was this set of fans and this set of fans, and it was global. And she chose one set. So the other set felt duped, got pissed. Huge. It was a huge. I was embroiled. One, I was just like, screw it. I'm going to just like answer people's questions and tell them how life works. And it was a huge brouhaha. Like it divided people into two different camps. People were just like bashing the show. I'm done with the show. It's horrible. I mean, even worse words. You're like, these are Christians and everything, worse words. I saw the divide so heavily. It happened again recently, so smaller scale, when a character returned to another show and not the original show. Folks were getting mad about that too. So there's a lot of dissension in these groups. So Twitter is known for, couple stands and people get upset about writers and fire the directors and they're bashing the actors. It's really bad. But see, all that's all whatever. I'm fascinated by the folks by folks who are trying to figure out the line, which is I can say whatever I want in a group. I feel like I can tag the actor and tell them how horrible they are. I can go on YouTube and bash the host whose opinions agree with yours, which has happened to me many times. Then you have the right to do that. And on some level, yes, you have a right to do that when it comes to your own page. Whenever we put something out to you, I recognize that's it. When I put it out there, whatever comes my direction may come my direction. We forget the humanity of it all. Like I'm still a human being, and these people are human beings. We're not just objects that you see on TV or your tablets or phones. We are people. But it seems to always go back to I have the right, and then back to what is bashing and what is genuine criticism. I know, and just like that, there are folks who just 7 episodes in, I hate the show. We need Samantha. Samantha's not coming back, bitches. That's just not happening. Miranda is treating Steve wrong. How could you? And it's kind of like that's the point. It's a storyline. You're supposed to come be mad at Miranda. I kind of think that's what it is. That they want you to kind of hate her at the moment or whatever on some level. She's trying to discover herself. That's it. Yeah, I know Marvel Universe has them. Star Wars, my Boba Fett right now, I'm seeing tons of comments. And these administrators just like, we just want to enjoy the show. And I don't, and see, that's where I don't blame them. So originally, all these groups, if I'm correct, I didn't start these groups. All these groups were started for the love of a character or a show or a movie or a franchise. They wanted a place to talk about with their friends, which their online friends, and talk about it and love it and go, oh my God, remember this scene, remember that scene? I feel like that's how these groups started. Then folks who were like that at first, maybe don't like the current version of what's going on. Maybe let's just say maybe they don't like the 3 episodes that are there. Or like the first two, like the latest one. We're up to the 3rd episode of Boba Fett, so I'm not gonna give any spoilers away, but they're like, they don't like it. Now on my show, which I do the Boba Fett after show here on GLJ Media, we made fun of a couple of things that went down, but we said it in a fun way. That's kind of what we do. We do a lot of things for comedy. When we're talking about things we don't care for, we had some fun word choices and thoughts. But we still saw that it was an important piece. We questioned a few things too. There's all that, that's fine. But I feel like the line, I'm seeing people literally eat themselves. I feel like these groups are just, they're attacking each other. So now it's getting lost, the good part of the show. What happened to the part where we go in and we enjoy it? People say they love this scene, they love that. And someone goes, I hate that. Oh my God, it's horrible. How could you like that? Oh my God. So you feel attacked because you came onto this group thinking there'll be this lovely experience, because we all can watch a show. 20 of us can watch a show and see 20 different things, right? And feel 20 different ways. That's kind of the beauty about these shows. Writers take chances. They write something, they think it sounds good. I'm a writer, so I understand this. And then sometimes it doesn't work. And sometimes it works for some people and not for others. And what I remind myself is, on a lot of these online groups, they're kind of the minority, because they're a majority online, but in the larger world, a lot of times they're a minority. Now they claim, many cases, they're the majority, and they'll tell me the ratings feel this, and I'm like, no, the ratings are fine. They do this. I mean, they'll tell me things they think they know. And I go, okay, if that's what you think, it's fine. The shows are staying on the air. Whether you like it or not, they're watching it. I stopped watching Walking Dead seasons ago. The show's still on the air. Apparently it's doing just fine. I don't bash it openly. I don't go out there and talk about, God, that show. I don't, for some reason, being negative has never been my thing. We have enough negativity in the world right now. The world, especially America, is divided. It is divided like never before. And so I look to these things for escape and hopefully and some camaraderie that, we all come together. One of the groups that I'm in, actually, it's a good epitome of that. It's one of my Dallas groups, or one of my Falcon Crest groups. They're very loving, and we actually have great discussions about storyline potential, characters. They respond to what I'm writing, and so far I've not had a bad experience. All the groups have had a bad experience. But I love the groups, and I want them to stay. I want them to stay active. I want them to still be out there. And I see these, and my heart goes out to these admins who are trying their best to like bring it back to zero, where it's like, we really wanted to have a group together to love the show, and they're getting chastised for taking comments off, blocking them, turning off comments. I don't blame them. I just don't, because I like putting positivity in the world. And it's not saying that you are Pollyanna or whatever. You can't say, well, you can't say, oh my God, this is crazy. No, I completely agree. Not every show has everything I like. But I feel like there's a way to do it, I guess, that could be constructive. See, that's me. I'm just one opinion, of course. Others may say, oh no, James, I can say however I want to. You can't police how I say it. And on some level, they're right. But when it comes to a group setting, I mean, your own page is one thing. Group setting, I'm really curious. That's especially if the group says, and the group has rules that specifically say no hate bashing, no name calling, no tagging the actors. Then you can't be in a group and then complain that you're being censored when they told you the rules and they're posted at the top of the page every time. So it's fascinating to me because I'm not fanatical. I'm a fan. I like certain shows. I like following them. I like it, but I just don't. I'm not so invested that doesn't mean I'm not any less a fan either. I'm not so invested that I have to go online and say that totally sucks. Now, mind you, there's a character on a show that I don't like, but I never tag the actor. I never do anything like that at all. I just usually I'll put out tweets every once in a while. I go, I try to be funny about it too at this point. They're keeping him on because they just want to get they're against me. Now I know the show's not against me and not nothing for me, but it's more for comedy space that I don't like this character. But it's saying I hate so and so on a show, that's boring after a while. It just doesn't make it just makes no sense. It's much more fun and colorful when you can actually make some fun out of it too. And I just think it's oh my god, it's too much. It's all too much, and people are just losing their shit over these shows, and they're expressing it, and it's more about the expression of expressing it. And I think that's and again, it's part of the world right now. The world is like everybody's trying to hear it, everybody's trying to talk. And there are some folks who aren't trying to be constructive. They're trying to be destructive. They just want to barrel through and it gets them through all of it. There are others who are just miserable. They're just miserable in life. So when everybody misery loves company. But there are others who feel strongly about their belief and feel the need to say it. And like I said, occasionally I do. I don't do it very often, but occasionally I'll post something. I made a post right now on Twitter that's getting lots of attention. I just said I would like to have Black folks basically on television, not just for the sake of it, but I want good writing and acting for them. That's just a statement. That's not. I didn't tag any writers or shows on. It's a general statement of how I feel that I think a lot of folks agree with, and they do. So there's ways of doing that too. It's kind of like the scooters in Boba Fett were a little crazy, and that chase scene was hilarious. But I did make me not like the show and go online and just bash the F out of it. It just doesn't register for me. Like I said, Walking Dead, I just don't talk about it. I stopped watching it, I moved on. I don't talk about it and bash it. God, the show ends soon. Oh my God, So it's just funny watching all these groups and people. It's like it's taking away from the actual reason why the group was probably started. We need to all do better and lighten up more. And let's just talk. I mean, if you think the characters of your show is being ruined, I totally understand. And all that. And maybe you can start your own groups where you're going to talk about hatred all the time. Because to me, it's also another thing. Read the room. If you're the only person posting negative stuff, everybody else is like, well, okay, we loved it, and you're fighting with all these people. I saw this in one group. I'm like, then that's not probably the group for you. That's clearly they don't want you. So, but you're saying I can be in this group, and so it becomes that whole thing of I can do what I want. You can't tell me what to do. So I don't know if I don't think there's any, it's been going on for the last 20 years or so, right? Since we have internet. I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon, but this week, especially of several groups I'm part of, I'm watching them literally eat themselves. They're all just like, it's a feeding frenzy. And it's like, and I'm seeing it, I'm going, well, did you guys, I mean, where's like just the regularness of that episode appreciation? I don't know, you guys. I wouldn't be online as much if I was in entertainment. If I was in entertainment, I probably wouldn't be online. Online is very toxic. Folks take time away from it. They feel like they have to, and they come back. It is a shit show. Pardon my language. It's a shit show online mostly. But there are wonderful folks online too. They're there. They're great and supportive, and they're promoting, and they're there. But you have to dig through all the crap sometimes to get them and find them. So you can tell what you think about all this online group chatter and folks just breaking themselves in half over stuff. I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me at alottahelp.com. I'm starting a new Q&A series, live Q&A series on life coaching. Starts next Tuesday, the 18th, with What is a Life Coach? I'm going to answer all that for you. Follow me at James Lott Jr. everywhere. And this show is on every streaming service platform you think of, and on YouTube at JLJ Media. See you next time.